Hello wonderful people, welcome to another exciting episode of Faces of Nigeria, where we get to showcase talented individuals that are doing incredible things in the society. I'm Temitope Popola, and today we have Ifeoma Adibe Chukwuka, who is going to tell us about her journey as an entrepreneur and how she's changing and inspiring other people out there. Join us and let's see what she has to say.
My name is Ifeoma Adibe Chukwuka. I'm 31. I'm from Abia State, Isukwato local government, but I was born and bred in Lagos. I went to Lagos State Polytechnic. I'm a proud Lasposian. I studied marketing. Currently, I'm the founder of Omanes Skin Food. We're a natural skincare line that produces wholesome skin and hair care products made using indigenously found local materials in Nigeria, like shea butter. One of our core material is using shea butter, coconut oil that are sourced locally from women in communities around Nigeria. I've been a social entrepreneur for 10 years, and 2 years ago, part of the work that we do is to provide educational interventions for women. And one of the things that I found out while that intervention was going on was that most of these women we were providing educational intervention for didn't have a sustainable source of livelihood. So many of them were artisans who manufactured or produces most of these local ingredients like shea butter. So one of the things that I thought was, how do we help them scale up their production so that they can have more livelihood? And that's where the idea came of helping them take this their local produce to the marketplace. And that's how Omanes actually started, to be able to extend the source of livelihood for women who produces raw ingredients, like I said, shea butter, coconut oil, and black soap. So prior to starting Omanes Skin Food, I had an NGO I was running. I started while I was in school. And most of the people that the NGO catered for were women in local communities. And what I was doing at that time was to help facilitate learning interventions for them and their children. That's for people who were in need in poor communities. And one of the things that I realized, when most of these women actually had, they were producers of local produce like shea butter, coconut oil, and aside from giving them education, one of their greatest need was how to also scale up their income and livelihood options. So I remember when I was pregnant with my first child, my baby, and I had to turn to natural products. Most of the things I was using were like the shea butter, coconut oil that these women were gifting me, because we were doing this. I was doing this intervention for them. So I found out that it worked perfectly for me. Shea butter was like what I used all through my pregnancy, and I didn't have all of these stretch mark things. So I think at a point I started thinking, how would I help to empower these women? And I knew that, okay, they had something that was really, really good, because I've actually experienced it firsthand, how shea butter and coconut oil can nourish the skin. So it just came naturally to me as a social entrepreneur that, okay, why don't I help take, brand the produce from these women, like people call it looks ordinary, brand it and take it to the marketplace. So it was not just creating wealth for these women, it was also going to be helping to empower people and nourish the skins of people who were going to be using the product. So basically that's how the company started. What inspires us to do more, the first thing that inspires us to do more is, as a person, is I feel fulfilled knowing that by through selling through the skin food product that we have, we are helping to foster wholesome skincare practice. That is skincare that promotes beauty and wellness. It's not just about making profit for us. And the second thing that is most fulfilling for me is seeing that our product is helping women, even in the local communities, earn more. Because as we take this product to the marketplace, it means that these women we get to produce more. We pay them fair trade, what we call fair trade wages. It means that they produce more and they can earn more to help them fend for their families and their children. They have more to send their children to school and to put food on their table. So that is one of the most fulfilling things that drives me in this business. And the other thing is, currently we are helping to build small enterprises. There are people who we call merchants. You know, the business is still fairly new, you know, but I'm excited knowing that currently we have about 12 women who are now merchants of our product, who didn't have anything to do before now, but because they are now skin food merchants, they have a business that, you know, once they sell to people around their communities, they can also earn a source of livelihood. I remember when I started this, I call it the shea butter business, like Ori. People were calling me like the shea butter woman or Ori. It was, you know, it was looking kind of degrading because people just felt like it was small. You know, when we started, it was not as profitable as I thought because we were. I mean, it was still relatively new, but I'm excited today based on the way we've been able to package the shea butter, ensuring that it's of premium quality, and our package, our processes, you know. Currently, every week we sell about up to 100 tubs of shea butter, which gives us relatively about between about 50 to 100,000 naira profit a month just by selling shea butter. Mind you, we have other lines, coconut oil, castor oil, a lot of indigenous butters and oils from Nigeria. You know, one of the things that we do with our proceeds, because of maybe the entrepreneurial, as a social entrepreneur, I always see our business as a way to also help society. Our proceed, what we do is 5% of our proceed goes to social interventions. Like the women who produce our shea butter, we ensure that many of them have what we call the local maternal health intervention support for people within our circle. We actually provide that small funding to help women in the communities who just put to bed with local some small maternal support supplies. Then we also fund what we call the Educate a Community program in communities where we also source our supplies from. We fund evening programs for women to go back to learn, not like go back to school, but also to scale up, you know, their education. And also for their children, we supply educational materials for the children in school. So our proceed actually goes to supporting this intervention. For us, we're not just in the business to sell. For me, the driving force is not just to sell, but knowing that proceeds from what we are selling, you know, is also helping to change the life of a woman and a child who is in need in the local community. When I started out as the only one filling up the tubs of shea butter, oils into bottles, packaging, doing everything, manager, assistant, delivery, you know. But I'm excited today that I've been able to employ 4 people who work with me on the team: production assistant, sales, delivery, and operation. I'm excited that the business is able to do that currently, and I hope that we can expand more to employ more people, more young people to join the team. Then I've been also able, through the business, to empower what we call skin food merchants. These are women, young women who didn't have businesses, you know, who were out of school and didn't have jobs. So currently we have about 11 of them who are skin food merchants. We have in Shagamu, Ikorodu, Port Harcourt, VI, Ilorin, Abuja, you know, and some other places in Lagos who are now skin food merchants. What they do is to retail, you know, our the skin food products, you know. So I'm excited because they are also building their own enterprises with what started, you know, with something that looked very small, something people would not have thought anything about, you know, shea butter. But now we have women and other young girls who are building their own businesses as skin food merchants, and I'm excited that I've been able to empower these women to see that they can also start something small with what we have. One of the challenges that I've encountered in this business, no matter how much you try to help people, like taking the produce from these women and taking it to the marketplace, sometimes sourcing and keeping the quality of your raw material is a challenge, you know, because you always have to also train them to keep up to that standard that people in the market would appreciate in the long run. Then sourcing of packaging material is You know, there's a time, okay, I'll show you two different bottles. You go to the market today and you have this container, and next time you go, because you don't have funds, they've scrapped it, you know. So that's one of the challenges we've been having to standardize our packaging material, because we don't have funds to buy or pack our packaging materials in volume, you know. So that has been also difficult. Then we're in the process of NAFDAC registration, and trust me, it's not easy. You know, even if I know right currently NAFDAC has actually slashed the price for SMEs like us, like if for 50%, instead of, it was about 70,000 per product. Could imagine it's now about 35,000. So just securing the funding to scale up production, you know, and keep to the standard where, you know, you can make products of Nigeria very desirable. You know, that's basically what our challenge has been. And also attracting talent, people who would work in the team, you know, who would work with us in production and stuff. So it's just the funding to keep all of these processes in a standard way. That's been one of our greatest challenge. One thing I have to say to young people on the street, I remember when I finished school, I've never had to look for a job in my life. And when people tell me there are no jobs, all I see is opportunities. You know, it's up to you to find, no matter how small or how mundane, you know, or how, you know, it might not be attractive at the moment. There's always something your hands can find to do. You know, for us, for me, it started with shea butter. You know, what is that thing? It might look mundane, you know, but I know that with hard work and persistence, you can get to wherever you want. You can make something from something that looks so small. So whatever it is that your hand would eventually find to do, because nobody can actually tell you, do this, you know, this is the way to go, or it's not because everybody is doing it, or because you've heard that I'm selling shea butter and you will run and say, okay, let me start selling shea butter. It might be, but whatever you decide to do, you know, do it with all your might. Do it with all your might, like, you know, your life depends on it. And, you know, with prayer and dedication, that's the word, you know, the sky will just be your starting point.
That was an amazing one from Ifoma Adibe Chukwuka. What do you do? Do you know anybody with remarkable abilities or someone who is talented? Send a mail to info@corp.nige.com. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram and on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more explosive videos. See you next week.